Ladies and gentlemen, this is the third year Maitri has called this very important meeting on violence against women in India. And it's been my privilege to share this meeting for the second time. Almost exactly 12 years ago, although we're going to discuss violence against women in India, it's a global problem, as you know. And 12 years ago, I was present as a representative from the United Nations at a discussion at the Security Council of the United Nations, whereby for the first time in the history of the United Nations, a social issue related to sex and violence against women was raised and discussed, and a resolution was passed in addressing that. We will refer to that a little bit later in the morning session, but with any further ado, I will now give the floor to the president of Maitri, who will give the welcome speech. You have the floor, Winnie Singh.
Thank you. I think I'll let Sonal.
Thank you all for being here. We welcome you to our national workshop on violence against women. This time we are discussing the challenges and contemporary issues that face us and how we all are going to unite against this fight to end violence against women and children. To start, I would like to welcome our panel in our inaugural session, Dr. Ulf Kristofferson. He is the chair of Maitri and a former UNAIDS member. I would like to welcome Kathleen Cravero. She's the president of Oak Foundation. And then also we are very privileged to have Dr. Najma Heptullah, former member of parliament. Also on stage is Mrs. Winnie Singh, the executive director of Maitri. To start, we would like to light the lamp before we begin our proceedings for the day. Please, I would like to request everybody to come to light the lamp. Thank you. Now we would like to facilitate our panelists. I would like to first, can we facilitate Kathleen Cravero, please? Dr. Najma Heptullah. Dr. Ulf Kristofferson. Thank you. I would now like to give the floor to Mrs. Winnie Singh, the president of, the executive director of Maitri, to say a few words and address the audience.
Thank you, Sonal. I am absolutely, I have no words, I would say, to say thank you to all of you for being here. It's early morning. I was told that 9 o'clock is too early to invite people. I shouldn't start the conference before 10 o'clock. But I thought 9:30 is a good time in Delhi, and it's wonderful. It's heartening to see all of you here. Kathleen Cravero, President, Oak Foundation. Dr. Najma Heptullah, former member Rajya Sabha. Dr. Ulf Kristofferson, Chair Maitri. I'm delighted to welcome you all to Maitri's third annual conference on violence against women. This year, we are looking at contemporary issues and challenges. This is an exciting opportunity for us to connect with one another and share strategies for ending violence against women and girls. Maitri is committed to reducing violence against women. Maitri, while working with vulnerable populations like migrant workers, rickshaw pullers, and homeless in Delhi, has a very strong program working with the widows in Vrindavan, who are an everyday living example of violence against women and domestic violence. Maitri is promoting respect and dignity for the widows in Vrindavan, where it has a nutrition, health, and empowerment program. 500 widows are provided with a hot, nutritious midday meal every day with nutritional supplements. Maitri, since its inception in 2005, has pledged its commitment to health and welfare for the uniformed services and its families. Since the last 2 years, Maitri has initiated reducing domestic violence and improving the health of the family program for the nation, and our motto is that sorry, that got messed up. We are glad to say our program is received extremely well and is very successful. We have addressed more than 10,000 personnel and their families in the last 1 year through interactive workshops, nukkad nataks, etc. We are working with defense forces, paramilitary, and civil police all over the country, sensitizing the men and educating the women. We believe no program in domestic violence can succeed without involving the men. Violence against women is an issue that affects women of every income level, not just in India, but in every region of the world. An estimated 1 in 3 women will be physically or sexually abused in a lifetime, and 1 in 5 will experience rape or attempted rape. Despite the overall economic growth, India is ranked 112 out of a total of 134 countries in the Global Gap Index of 2010. The declining sex ratio, dowry-related murders, suicides by women, and increasing number of rapes in the country have earned us the disgraceful reputation of being one of the most dangerous countries for women to live. The blame for this dismal state must squarely be laid at the footsteps of parental families. It is they who do not want to give birth to daughters, deny them a chance of education, of standing on their feet, being economically independent. It is they who do not want to give property rights to their daughters and prevent them from returning to the natal families, even when they face acute problems in their marital homes. This violence affects women's health and well-being. It hurts children and families and poses considerable costs to societies, economically and socially. Should we accept this as responsible citizens? I think it is simply unacceptable. This is not just a gender or economic issue, but a matter of human rights and national security. We have laws. We need implementation of those laws effectively to decriminalize such acts, and they must be implemented in order to hold people accountable and address impunity. And we need everyone's involvement to make this happen. People at all levels of society, in every vocation, at every age, girls, boys, women, and men, all have a role to play in nation building and governance. I want to thank Dr. Kathleen Vero and Oak Foundation for being such a strong partner, and everyone here for continuing to stand up, speak out, and think of new solutions. Like you, we see women as powerful agents of change, and through forums like this one, we are focusing on creative and innovative ways to harness the power of women to be part of the solution to ending gender-based violence. I hope this dialogue is going to provide an opportunity to learn about what is working and how to build on successful policies and programs to advance women's rights. I can't wait to hear what we come up with. I wish you all a great day of sharing and learning. I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Ulf Kristofferson, and I guess after that, since he's the chair, he will introducing the other panelists. I do not know what to say about Dr. Ulf Kristofferson. He comes with a very, very rich experience of 40 years plus in health and security. He's worked in all UN agencies. He's held very, very responsible posts. He established the UNAIDS Office on AIDS Security and Humanitarian Response. He is serving as the director of Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, Office for Security and Humanitarian Response. He initiated UNAIDS' substantive relationship with the Department of Peacekeeping Operations. Well, he also negotiated the establishment of HIV/AIDS focal points in 16 peacekeeping operations. Dr. Kristofferson initiated a comprehensive program to promote HIV/AIDS prevention and awareness for young recruits within uniformed services. He led the drafting and field testing of guidelines for interventions to prevent HIV/AIDS in emergency and humanitarian situations, mobilized funding for implementation of the guidelines in several pilot countries. He has served as a representative of the UNHCR, that's United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, in Burundi and Kampala. He was responsible for care and protection of 75,000 returnees in Burundi and 300,000 refugees to Kampala from Tanzania and Rwanda, including the delivering of basic health and education services and negotiation of land rights and reintegration into communities. He has served with UNICEF emergency programs, providing support and guidance to UNICEF emergency programs worldwide. I can continue with his achievements. He's faculty on George Washington University, Lund University in Sweden. Maitri has the honor and privilege of having Dr. Ulf Kristofferson as the chair of our board. Thank you very much. Dr. Ulf Kristofferson.